Hello Wolfpack, got another Chainlink video here for you guys today. Link, a bit of an update. It's been a little while, I think 3 or 4 weeks since the last update. Nothing too significant's happened, but I thought I'd run over some stuff, so it might be a little bit of a shorter video. But essentially on Link, you know, it looks fine. It looks fine, and you know, we were expecting, and I did say in the last video that we could see this inverse head and shoulders pattern that I'm drawing out right now play out and break over to the red region and then flip for support and go to the upside. Hasn't really materialized, right? We've had a little problem breaking the neckline. We did continue, I think the last video I did somewhere around here, and we did continue to the upside. We made some decent gains, I think probably around 25 to 30%. You know, I can measure that out right now. Actually, let's see, just roughly 35% decent gains, but we didn't break to the upside. We failed to do that, and that's because Bitcoin has been running into a few problems. We'll get up the Bitcoin chart right now and just look at it briefly. We've got this kind of downward structure, but we've entered an upwards channel right now in which we're seeing some bounces off the baseline. So let's see how that goes, but that's besides the point. I think that's why we've ran into some turbulence here on most altcoins, including Link. I don't think that changes the structure. I think the structure is still bullish, right? Even though we had a rejection from the neckline, right? We were unable to break that neckline there. I seriously don't see it as much as a problem, right? And I'll delete these lines here, and I guess we'll get into what I think is going to happen next for Link. Now, you know, obviously this November so far has not been too bad. It's particularly late October, right? We ran up and then we've kind of sideways accumulated. Obviously, Link, this is the first bull cycle we've had, so we don't really have any data from the last cycle to compare what's happening right now. But what we can say about Link is that it is amongst one of the newer coins, right? I know it's not brand new, and I know it's been around for a considerable amount of time, but the fact of the matter is it hasn't seen a full bull cycle yet, and it hasn't got the attention of a full bull cycle yet, and hence it's still got that new coin effect that are having with Solana, with Avalanche, with Luna, for example. And I think that brings a lot to the table for Link, because I think that coins, you think of Solana, Avalanche, Luna, you know, pretty good fundamentals in all of those coins. They're all brand new, right? They came out in the bear market and they've all reached massive valuations. Now Link is yet to do that. Yes, obviously it's up, what I think probably over 100x from its bear market lows, over that, right? 200x from its bear market lows. But in terms of since the drop down in May, we haven't really done too much, but this is bullish, right? What it kind of tells us is that, well, we have a lot of potential, a lot of room to grow on Link, which is great to see. And, you know, realistically, you don't want to be investing in the coins that have moved up dramatically. You want to be investing in the coins that are still largely on the ground. And I think Link is largely on the ground, right? Obviously, it's got, just to get to all-time highs, it's got a solid 74% gain. And then once it gets there, you can just kind of imagine what's going to happen from that point in the blow of top region. But this is a coin, and I want to say that this just before we get into this a bit further here, is that one of the most unreliable things about Link, and I do like Link, and I am currently looking to invest in Link, right? Once it breaks this red box and flips it for support, I think there'll be great entry zone for Link, and that was my whole entire game plan for it all along. But you know, one of the things we do need to note is that, hey, we don't really know when this is going to top out, because we have a variety of altcoins that top out with Bitcoin, which typically tops out about a month earlier, and then we have a variety of coins that top out with Ethereum. So we don't know that yet. We haven't seen a previous cycle, and that's why I'm thinking of swing trading Link rather than holding it, right? I'm trying to take advantage of opportunities, and that is why I'm waiting for this red box to be flipped, right? Because once we flip this red box, which has acted as resistance on various occasions, right? Resistance here, it's acted as resistance here, right? This is a strong resistance zone. Once we flip that, what has historically happened, right? We flipped it here, we came back down, retested, and then zoomed to the sky. That's the historical data from what's happened when we flip that. So I wouldn't expect anything different once we flip it this time, right? So when we flip this region, you know, whatever may happen, even if we correct downwards first and then come up and flip it, we can expect it to be bullish momentum from that point onwards. And that's why I'm waiting for that flip before getting in and trying to make some sneaky gains. So, you know, I guess the overlying question is, well, when will we be flipping that region? Well, there's two separate theories you could have on this. One of the theories is that, hey, we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we've rejected from the neckline, and hence now we need to see a correction. We've corrected down to the bottom of this resistance box, support box now actually, at $30. But, you know, if Bitcoin, and the reason I'm bringing up Bitcoin, if Bitcoin breaks this channel to the downside and heads down to, say, 60K or even 58K once again, Link will no doubt be correcting further, and I think one of the most logical places for it to correct to would be the $25 or $26 resistance, right? Support, sorry, $25, $26 support. So that's one scenario, and I think that, you know, this is worth having. And I know this sounds like I'm saying, well, it's either going to go up or down. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what you should be doing now, in my personal opinion, is sitting on the sidelines, waiting for Link to smash through this $36 resistance, or waiting for Link to go down to this $26 support, right? Either of those ranges are good places for buying. Right now, I've got a bit of a on-the-fence positioning on Link, right? So I'm waiting for $36 or $26 to make action on Link. So that's the one scenario, the inverse head and shoulders pattern. And then the other scenario is that, and this one obviously makes sense perfectly, is that, well, we have this pretty clear symmetrical triangle formation that has been forming for a pretty decent period of time. Yes, obviously we only have two tests on each side, but it's pretty clearly a compressed pattern, right? We're compressing, we're bouncing, and we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and this is due for a breakout, before January. So it's obviously going to break out before that point, right? I mean, with the volatility seen in the markets, it will break out before that point, for sure. But the point of the matter is that we're coming up on a pretty interesting time. And the reason why I'm sticking by the fact that, well, we shouldn't be investing before $36 or $26 is because if we do see a rejection, where will we come down to? $26 is the most logical region to come down to, right? And if we see a breakthrough, what are we going to see? Jumping up above this resistance zone, coming back down, flipping it for support, and then heading to the upside. So $36 and $26 are very fundamental regions. As for the VVPR, and we'll zoom up a little bit just so we get a bit of a better view here. The VVPR is sitting at $27, right, just above our region at $26, and that's an area in which we have massive fundamental support, right? We also have fundamental support here at around 30 USD, which is good to see as well in case we see any drops. Right now, yeah, as I said, the bottom of this red box is holding a support, but that's just like an on-the-fence position for me right now. I wouldn't be taking any trades in this region. I'd be waiting for a decisive move, right? 26 or 36. But the fact of the matter is we do have a decent amount of support all the way down to around 23. So I see it as a very low risk trade, right? As for the Bollinger Bands, we have been on the top side of the Bollinger Bands for a decent period of time, which is bullish. Of course, it's bullish, but it does also tell us that, hey, we might need to correct a little bit, refresh the indicators before heading upwards. And the bottom half of this Bollinger Band is sitting at 26 USD, which once again keeps coming up on the charts here. We can bring up the MACD and the RSI and try understand what's going on here. And we can see the RSI is showing that, yes, it's not necessarily a bearish divergence yet, right? Because technically these tops were even, but it very well could be if we moved a little bit more to the upside. So we have a bearish divergence on the RSI, I would say, and we have a bearish MACD cross, which is basically imminent, right? If we see one more red daily candle below this red box here, we'll be seeing a bearish MACD cross that will take us down to 26. So it's pretty clear, and it's pretty clear why I'm waiting right now, because the signals are mixed, right? Everything's mixed on this chart. I can't say decisively what's going to happen in the short term. What I can say, and I'll repeat it once again, waiting for 26 or waiting for 36, and that's probably the most logical thing to do here on Link. As for the weekly chart, which is the longer term time frame, we're holding that bull market support band for support, which again, I keep saying I sound like a broken record, but it's very important. Again, the bull market support band is sitting at 26 USD. So if we do come down, the most logical bottoming out zone would be 26 USD once again. So, that's if it happens. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying look for it, right? Put some bids down at 26, put some bid downs at 36, and just wait on the sidelines until one of them hits, right? Either way, it's pretty favorable trade. As for the MACD, here we had a bearish cross coming in, and we neglected that bearish cross, and now we're heading to the upside, which is good to see. So we negated some bearish price action. And as for a long-term price prediction on Link, well, long-term, I mean end of cycle, right? So I'm talking about late January, early February for my calculations. I'm looking at 125 USD, and that price prediction is basically just an extrapolation of data from my Bitcoin price prediction, since we don't have any historical price predictions to make from Link, right? Link has not proven any historical price predictions. What I can say, and actually let me just finish explaining this first, and I'll go over the bit of a fractal I just kind of looked at just then, is the reason why we're coming to this price prediction of 125 USD is because, well, Bitcoin reached 64K at the same time as Link reached $54. And so if Bitcoin goes to 113K, which is my personal price prediction, that's a little bit under a 2x from 64K. Adjusting for returns and altcoins, so adding 50% returns to Link, that will take us to a price point of roughly 125 USD. That's pretty rough, but that's the roundabout price point. I just noticed that on this chart here, and I haven't looked at this before, so it might not be perfect here, but what I did notice is the fact that, well, we do have some sort of fractal, I guess you could say, on Link here, in which we had a top. So I can label this real quick. I'll put an X here for the top, circle here for the bottom, triangle here for the second top, and let's do a star shape for this region here. So what we can see here, this is what was happening in 2020. We had an X here, a circle here. So what we can actually extrapolate here, I'm just looking at this for the first time, so excuse it being a bit rough, is an X here, a circle here, a triangle here, and a star here. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. So it looks like this could be potentially playing out again, right? This fractal in which we drop down, we come up a little bit, we drop down again, and then we head up, right? We drop down, we come up a little bit, we drop down again, and we head up. That could be playing out again. That would suggest that we're going to see some bullish price action within the next, couple of months here on Link. If we take a fractal, and again, this is rough, I haven't looked at this before, but if we take a little fractal here on Link, and we can apply that to current price point. I think I might have looked at this in a past video, but I'm not 100% sure. We can see that would bring Link to around 95 USD, right? That's roughly applied. If we applied it properly, we could probably bring it a little bit higher. We could probably match up with our 125 USD price point. It's just very hard to bring this to a reasonable location here in which it matches up. Yeah, 125 USD. So that fractal that I just identified kind of roughly supports our 125 USD price prediction, which is good to see. It's always good to see, supporting evidence from fractals. So as for the Bitcoin pair, and this is interesting, right? Because I didn't expect this to happen. We were kind of bouncing on this long-term support line that we've been holding since May 2019, right? So it would be pretty much abnormal for us to drop below this, but we did drop below it, right? I don't think I was expecting that to happen. I think I made this video on this red candle here, and I said, hey, this is a good time for a bounce, and we didn't actually bounce. We ended up dropping below it and kind of invalidating this support line, which is not good to see in terms of long-term structure. But I suppose that what's happened, and now we have to kind of move forward from that, I guess. And this kind of does destroy a bit of the structure that we wanted to see on Link. But what we do still have, because we do still have some structure, we do still have a pretty clear W formation that is formed, and it actually has formed a little bit better due to this bottoming out region here, right? So we bottomed out here at 3,400 sats, and as we've come down below the support line, it's been about 3,800. So we have a pretty clear W formation, which would suggest that we'll be jumping back above within the next couple of months. And we have this red resistance box here that is our major rejection zone between 8,800 sats and 10,300 sats that we need to be looking out for. Do I think Link can make new all-time highs on the Bitcoin pair? I'm not sure, right? Because we made this all-time high in 2020 in the bear market. So it would be interesting, because usually when altcoins make all-time highs on Bitcoin pairs in the bear market, because Link was one of the few coins that actually rallied massively within the bear market, usually you don't reach that point again. So it'll be interesting to see. I think maybe we could be in for a double top this cycle, but we have to wait and see what happens. Because in May here, when we were seeing that miniature altcoin season, we only reached 10,400. We reached 17,000 as our all-time high. I think we could go anywhere within these regions, right? I think we're going to go above 10,400, but probably below 17,000. But we'll just have to keep an eye on it. So to summarize the video, and I guess the main points I wanted to get across in this video is look for 26 USD and look for 36 USD. Wait for one of those to happen before making a trade. That is what I'm doing personally. Obviously, you don't have to copy me. If you believe in Link, you believe in Link. What can I say? But that's what I'm doing personally. I'm bullish on Link, and I'm excited for the rest of the cycle. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.